it's Neil Dugan here from Conscious of Health, where we help people to love their lives and to be free. And today we're continuing our Geopathic stress series, and I'm going to answer the question about what types of illness or disease might be coming or stemming from geopathic stress. First thing I'll point out is that any geopathic or environmental stress is really an influence that's coming from outside of yourself. So the huge majority of things that are actually occurring in terms of disease or your general wellness in your system are actually internal in any case. But what we're dealing with here are factors from the outside that are coming in and creating an influence on you. Now, these things from outside are not making you do anything. They're not making you sick. They're not doing anything directly to you. What they are is they are a pressure or an influence that's coming from the outside. Now, that's not to diminish the effects of them, because the effects can be massive. They can be absolutely massive, what is actually coming from the outside into an individual, into yourself. So, but it is an important distinction that they're not directly making you sick. It's more how you are responding to the influence that's coming in from the outside. So from a clinical perspective, the list of conditions that come in which have an environmental factor associated with them is very long. In fact, you go to a medical dictionary and almost anything in the medical dictionary could be impacted upon by environmental stress. And so such things as digestive issues, very, very common for digestive issues to come up as an environmental stress affected disease. All sorts of pain, back pain, joint pain, muscular pain, trapped nerves, all that kind of stuff can be impacted upon by environmental or geopathic stress. Cancer is an absolute classic, where you've got geopathic stress in a particular area. We find this with people with geopathic stress in their bedrooms, particularly where their bed is situated, where they're lying. Very, very common for the cancer to actually be formed. Things like underwires, bra underwires, that type of thing, which is an environmental factor. The bra underwire is not making you ill, but nonetheless the pressure from it can actually lead to breast cancer. There's a strong causative link between bra underwires and breast cancer, for example. So that's an example of an environmental factor actually impacting on your wellness. Heart disease, everybody knows that general stress is one of the largest components in heart disease, and this geopathic and environmental stress is so subtle and it's underneath the radar, but it's putting stress on you, putting pressure on you all the time. And eventually all of that stress level builds up and it expresses itself, actually materializes as heart disease. Fatigue, whether it be chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia, all those type of things, very impacted upon by this type of environmental stress. Anxiety, depression disorders, so everything in that spectrum, all the way from the mild sort of anxiety all the way through to full-blown depression. These environmental factors can play a huge effect, because it's just this big pressure. It's a whole big influence coming from the outside world, which is just weighing you down. Eventually your body goes into overload and there's changes in the biochemistry in the brain, and basically depression results out of it. Learning delays and behavioural problems in children, which obviously go off into adulthood as well. So people who are misbehaving with substance abuse, addictions, whether it be cigarette smoking, or alcoholism, or other drugs and that type of thing. But other behaviour problems as well, violence and general what we call sociopathic behaviour. These things can be strongly influenced by geopathic stress. So over many years it builds up the tendency to create these sorts of problems. And if we go back to some of those examples, like where there has been trauma or great violence or something like that in a building or in a room where a person is present much later on, so this could be years or decades later, then that type of belief system and all those emotions and everything else like that get transferred into the client, and that ends up with a very, very sociopathic type of behaviour actually resulting from it. And the last one will be very simple things like weight gain. So We talked a little bit about this idea of the outside world being a dangerous place and so on. One of the reasons why there's an epidemic in weight gain, and we have an entire series of information around weight gain in other video series, but one of the very common issues around weight gain is that people think that the outside world is a dangerous place, and so they put on weight to actually armour themselves against it. And this environmental stress that's coming in builds up in a huge way the belief system in an individual that the outside world is a dangerous place. So you can see from this brief summary that I've just given you there now that there is an enormously wide range of, we'll call it illness or conditions or syndromes, which are related to this environmental stress coming from either pure geopathic stress or these other environmental stresses that we've been talking about. So I hope that's been helpful. Look out for the other videos in the series, and look forward to helping you. Thank you very much. Hello again, it's Neil Dugan here again. If you've enjoyed watching this short video and you'd like to get more information about this, I have made 20 videos of the most frequently asked questions that people have about the subject of geopathic stress, environmental stress, how it impacts on you as an individual, and how your health and your well-being of your family is being affected by this type of stress in your environment. If you would like the information, we have these 20 videos. I'm happy to email them to you. All you need to do is complete the form. You don't need to be concerned at all about completing the form. We will not use your information for any other purpose other than to communicate with you about this valuable information. So please complete the form and we'll get these videos across to you, and look forward to catching up with you on all this wonderful information. Thank you very much.